There's so much information out there about mindfulness and meditation, especially as it has become really popular. The only problem with that is there's also a lot of misconceptions and misunderstanding of what it is. And these misconceptions can be really discouraging. In fact, it may lead many people to completely stop meditating or even let alone giving mindfulness a chance. So let's clear the air around 9 of those. This is Kasim Al-Mashat, Registered Psychologist and Mindfulness teacher. Now the first one I want to share with you, it's a bit of a confession, because when I first wanted to establish mindfulness meditation, I actually kind of worried. I had a bit of a fear that, is this some kind of cult or is this some kind of religion? Now, this was back in the early 2000s, and when I started, actually, I went to one event that ended up turning me off and away from meditation, and then I went back to it. And in that place, they had a lot of statues, not just Buddhist, not just the kind of statues of a Buddha, but a lot of other statues, and I'm like, does that mean I have to believe like a new belief system? And does it mean I have to become a Buddhist or become something else? Are they indoctrinating me to something? And that really turned me off. And as I got into it and I got curious as I went into graduate school and really wondering what can support mental health and discovering, wow, mindfulness is something that can really help me personally. And that cleared the myth for me that, wait, this is an innate capacity. This is universal. And it was based on a lot of wisdom traditions, mindfulness meditation. And actually, meditation existed even before Buddhism. So that's kind of the good news for all of us, is what we can learn from it and benefit from this wonderful inner resource that we can develop. And meanwhile, keep whatever beliefs you have. You don't need to change your beliefs, but benefit from the practice. The next one, oh, I love the next one because I hear it so often in a lot of the programs that I teach, and people wonder, wait a minute, I thought I'm supposed to have like a blank mind. I'm supposed to like close my eye and just empty my mind until there's nothing. Well, unfortunately, that's not what it is. We all have thousands of thoughts. It's not about blocking thoughts. It's not about just arriving at just a blank, nothing. Oh, I mean, that would be nice. I wish I had some kind of mute button on my thoughts, but it is not about blanking. It's about working. And this skill we develop, we cultivate in mindfulness meditation to work with thoughts, to relate to them, to also work with the emotion they bring in and how our body feels. So it's definitely not, and that's a relief, it's not about blanking or emptying your thoughts. Another misconception that very understandable that many people actually have, which is mindfulness is about relaxation and about getting blissed out. So, I mean, it would be nice. Sometimes it is a byproduct. People feel more at ease or more relaxed by the end, but it's not something we're striving for, because in meditation, as we're turning in, we often discover things maybe that we haven't felt in the day, like, oh, I am annoyed, or oh, I'm upset. And there's a working with, a being with what's here. So it's not about every time we meditate, we're supposed to feel relaxed from the minute we start to the minute we end. That's not actually the practice. So please give yourself the permission to feel whatever you're feeling and work with it in your practice. If you're finding this useful so far and you're enjoying it, feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So let's go over the next one. The next one actually is completely understandable, which is it's for special people. Mindfulness is for special, quiet people whose mind is very calm. And it's not for anyone who gets distracted. That's a huge misconception. And it's understandable because I'm sure we've all seen it somewhere, whether it's on TV or social media or went to some kind of class and looked around, or like, whoa, everyone is just like sitting in such stillness. They must be so calm on the inside and like, right? Not distracted. That is a misconception. Our mind loves to be everywhere. This default mind, this distractible mind, it likes to go to the past, to the future, and just get lost in talking about the present moment. That's our mind. Even when we're just sitting and looking like we're not doing anything, it's going somewhere. So mindfulness is not for just these special people who have just a still mind. It's available, accessible. It can really be developed. The next misconception has actually shrank over the years, which is really nice, but every now and then I still hear it, which is people thinking that mindfulness or meditation is woo-woo, some flaky thing, and it's like a new age thing that's just a little fad that's going to come and go. Well, obviously we know it's not going anywhere. It's been around thousands of years. And it's been used in Fortune 500 companies, in athletics, for people who are high performers, executives, professionals. So the research actually has been quite remarkable in the last couple of decades, showing how mindfulness meditation can really influence different regions of the brain. So what we now know is the evidence is quite stacking in favor of all the benefits of mindfulness meditation. So it's definitely not a woo-woo flaky thing. It's well established and well researched practice. This next one can actually be a little bit upsetting for people, because sometimes there's this misunderstanding that mindfulness is some kind of magic panacea, some quick fix, and it really isn't. It's something that we have to develop over time. And one of the things that actually is very discouraging when I hear people do is they use it as some kind of crisis meditation. When they don't meditate, or they haven't learned to meditate, or even if they have, they stop. And then only when there's something that bad that goes on in life, they say, okay, we want to fix it. And that's not really the best way to go about it. It's establishing this mindfulness practice, and then it can support us in navigating through life's challenges. But it's not a quick fix, it's not a panacea, it's not a magic pill, but it's a really, really incredible seed for creating wellness, and really worthwhile cultivating. The next one I actually still hear about. Somehow for me, I get surprised when I realize a lot of people think mindfulness meditation is about you're going to detach and zone out. You're going to detach from your emotions, kind of not feel them. Some kind of bypass, like some kind of transcendence, like I'm going to get to this state where none of these emotions I don't feel. And that's actually not it. In practice, we get to even feel more because we're turning inwards, and we get to learn how to relate to these thoughts. Oh, look at these thoughts. These emotions. Oh, this is what's happening. That way, we don't get taken for a ride by our thoughts. So it's definitely not about zoning out or detaching, but actually getting to know them really well and working with these thoughts. So that's quite an important distinction. The next one is one of my favorite ones, which is many people think I'm going to practice mindfulness meditation. I'm going to turn to this mush of compassionate doormat. No, this is not what it is. I mean, it is true. We are expanding compassion, which brings a softening to the heart and to the mind, a letting go of a lot of the hate that we see out there and sometimes we take in. There's a softening of that. But it doesn't mean a weakening. It doesn't mean inaction. In fact, it means taking clear, precise action, but not from a place of anger or hate or reaction, but from a place of responding with clarity. Ooh, this is what's needed here. So that's really important distinction to keep in mind. And one example on a big scale, if you think of it, is Gandhi. And wow, he immobilized an entire country with what he did and the fasting that he did. And incredible, but not from a place of anger and hate. So it doesn't mean having compassion, it means weak. And another example is, if there's someone who's reaching out to the oven and it's hot, you're not just gonna, and they're about to burn themselves by mistake, you're not gonna just watch and go, oh, I'm just gonna watch and observe. You're gonna tell them, hey, don't touch the oven, it's hot. So it's not inaction, it's actually clear action, precise action. And the last one I want to share with you is, many people think it's really complicated. It actually isn't. It's super simple. Like, it's not like some kind of ninja moves of you have to pull in your mind, like, right? It's really simple, but not easy. It takes patience and persistence and practice. So I encourage you to give it a chance if you haven't done so already. And if you have given it a chance and you've been practicing, now that you know these misconceptions that you may come across, that will clear the path to continue practicing. I hope you found this useful. If so, feel free to share, like, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe. And you can take a look at the links below for upcoming events and also other videos. Thank you for watching. And may your moments be filled with ease, and may you be present with as many of them.